Oma was a poor orphan girl who lived in a small village where wealth determined respect. She had no parents, no inheritance, and no protector. Though she was naturally beautiful and kind-hearted, the villagers paid little attention to these qualities. Instead, they focused only on her poverty. To many, Oma was invisible, and to some, she was a target for mockery. Among those who mocked her most were a group of village girls led by Afi. They laughed at Oma's worn clothes, her cracked slippers, and her quiet nature. Whenever Oma passed by, they whispered insults and laughed loudly, calling her poor, hungry, and worthless. Oma never responded with anger. She believed that kindness was stronger than cruelty, even when it hurt her deeply. Each day, Oma carried out her simple routines. One of her daily tasks was fetching water from the village river. The river was one of the few places where she felt calm and free from judgment. One afternoon, as she bent down to fill her water pot, she heard a weak cry for help. The sound was unfamiliar and filled with pain. Curious and concerned, Oma followed the sound. Dear amazing viewers, what do you think Oma will find? Please keep watching to find out. Before I continue, I would like to ask you to kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Please click on the subscribe button, much appreciation. And if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much. Now, back to the story. To her shock, she discovered a mermaid trapped near the riverbank. The mermaid's tail was stuck deep in the mud, and she was clearly in distress. Fear rushed through Oma's heart, but she did not turn away. Instead, she dropped her water pot and rushed forward to help. Using her bare hands, Oma pulled at the mud and pushed with all her strength. Her hands ached and her body trembled, but she refused to stop until the mermaid was finally free. The mermaid was overwhelmed with gratitude. She thanked Oma for her bravery and kindness and insisted on rewarding her. The mermaid then revealed a secret that had been hidden for years. Oma's grandmother, Nene, had buried a bag of gold coins beneath a mango tree on their farmland. Nene had planned to tell Oma about the treasure, but died before she could. After revealing this secret, the mermaid disappeared into the river, leaving Oma in shock and wonder. Filled with hope, Oma rushed toward her farmland. Along the way, she encountered Afi and the other girls, who immediately began to mock her. Ignoring them, Oma continued on, her thoughts fixed on the mango tree. When she arrived, she began digging beneath it. She dug until her arms grew tired, but she found nothing. Discouraged and confused, she eventually stopped and returned home empty-handed. The girls mocked her again, deepening her pain. The following day, Oma visited an elderly woman in the village, whom she often helped. She discovered that the woman was seriously ill and needed medicine. Sadly, Oma had no money. She went from house to house, asking for help, but everyone turned her away. At last, a roadside food seller agreed to lend her some money. Oma bought the medicine, and the elderly woman recovered. However, days later, the food seller asked for repayment. Despite working harder and selling fruits, Oma could not gather enough money. Desperate and determined, she remembered the mermaid's words and decided to return to the farm once more. As usual, Afi and her friends laughed at her when they saw her pass. This time, Oma did not let their voices affect her. She went straight to the mango tree and began digging again. Under the hot sun, she dug for hours. Exhausted, she rested beneath the tree and fell asleep briefly. In her dream, she saw her grandmother smiling at her. When she woke up, she felt renewed strength. Determined not to give up, Oma dug deeper. Suddenly, her tool struck something hard. Her heart raced as she uncovered a bag buried in the soil. Inside it were shining gold coins. Overcome with joy, Oma hugged the bag and hurried home. On her way back, the mocking girls saw her again and noticed the bag she was carrying. They chased her, demanding to know what was inside. Afi accused her of stealing. As Oma tried to escape, she ran into a stranger. He listened carefully and quickly realized that Oma was telling the truth. He warned the girls to leave her alone and escorted her safely home. With the gold coins, Oma changed her life wisely. She sold part of the treasure, repaid her debts, and started a clothing business. She also established a foundation to help orphans attend school and provided care for the elderly. The village watched in amazement as the poor orphan girl transformed into a respected and generous woman. One day, Oma noticed a young man sitting by the roadside looking hungry. She offered him fruits, and later learned his name was Tochi. He had no family and was searching for work. Oma offered him a job assisting with her charity work. Over time, they became close friends, bonded by shared values of kindness and service. As Oma flourished, the same girls who once mocked her came asking for jobs and forgiveness. Oma forgave them without bitterness. Eventually, Tochi proposed marriage to her and revealed that he was actually a prince from a neighboring town. He was pretending to be poor in order to find true love. Although shocked, Oma realized that love, not status, had brought them together. They married, and Oma became a princess. Oma never forgot her humble beginnings, even after becoming a princess. Wealth, respect, and royal comfort did not erase the memories of hunger, tears, and loneliness that once shaped her days. She often returned quietly to her village, not in royal clothes, but in simple garments, walking the same dusty paths she once walked as a poor orphan. She visited the river where her life changed, standing by its edge in silence. One evening, as the sun dipped low, the water stirred gently, and for a brief moment, Oma thought she saw a familiar shimmer beneath the surface. She smiled, unsure if it was memory or magic. That night, she realized something powerful. The true treasure was never just the gold her grandmother buried, but the kindness she carried when she had nothing. The gold had only revealed what was already inside her. Yet, a quiet question remained in her heart. Had the mermaid saved her future, or had Oma's kindness already written her destiny long before that day? Years later, as Oma ruled beside Tochi with wisdom and compassion, a traveler arrived at the palace bearing troubling news. He revealed that the neighboring kingdom had been watching Oma closely, not because of her beauty or marriage, but because of her influence. Her charity had weakened corrupt leaders who thrived on suffering, and some now feared her. That night, Oma stood alone beneath a mango tree planted in the palace garden, a symbol of where her journey began. She understood then that her life would never be free of trials, even as a queen. But she was no longer afraid. She had faced hunger, cruelty, and doubt, and survived. With calm strength, Oma chose to continue helping the poor, even if it brought danger. Her story, passed down through generations, did not end as a fairy tale of comfort, but as a lesson of courage. It taught that kindness never goes unnoticed, that hardship is not permanent, and that true wealth lies in a good heart. It reminded the world that kindness may open doors, but bravery keeps them open, and that no condition is permanent, except the impact a good heart leaves behind. Before you watch the next video, kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Please click on the subscribe button and like this video. Be a part of my channel's growth by clicking on the next video on the screen and drop a comment to let me know what you think about the story. Thank you for watching. Much appreciation.